start now, darling.
Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Good evening, friends. I pray you know that no matter who you are and no matter where you are on life's journey, you are welcome here in the house of God and in the community of the saints. You are loved unconditionally and steadfastly by the God whose image you bear, and you are cherished by neighbors who delight in your presence. This evening we have a very special Good Friday service planned with the partnership churches. Just a few notes before we begin. If you aren't a regular here, you can find the restrooms, or I suppose also if you are a regular here, the restrooms don't move depending on how often you're here. You can find restrooms in the office complex adjoining the sanctuary and exit stage left. Both of the restrooms have a changing table, menstrual pads, and all of that. And if you are not a person who enjoys incense, I'll encourage you to stay towards the front of the sanctuary Towards the end of the service, we'll be lighting incense in the back. And with that, I will invite Kay Marie to lead us in our opening prayer.
Good evening. Welcome to Kensington Community Church, and welcome to Brooks, our amazing bass player this evening. Please join me in our opening prayer. Eternal God, whose image we bear, you accompany us through life like our very shadows. Cast in the summer sun, cast in the rays of the moon, seen on the playground blacktop, seen on the snowy mountain, sometimes large and easy to spot, sometimes known only up close, sometimes stretching far beyond our height, always connected to our feet. You are always more eager to listen than we are to pray, and always more ready to speak than we are to hear. Teach us, O God, to speak with and to hear you. In the warm sand we walk on, in the chilly breeze around us, in the voices of our children, in the wisdom of our elders, in the hymns around the bonfire, and in the silence of the lonely hour. Amen.
We have sought the truth when we felt the pain, even wandered beyond our faith in the name. We cannot pretend we are always okay. We cannot depend on shallow grace. Help me let you go. Help me give up control of the God I have made you when my fear has contained you. Help me let you go. Help me give up control of the God I have made you when my fear has contained you. When the way is unclear and the answer's elusive, you are different by far than our broken conclusions. You are not the God my pain has conceived. You are deeper and stronger than my eyes can see. Help me let you of the God I have made you when my fear has contained you. Help me let you go. Help me give up control of the God I have made you when my fear has contained you. With us now, you have always been. When we're found without, you are found within. You are with us now, you have always been. When we're found without, you are found within.
The Good News according to John. Then when he'd gone out, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Mankind has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. If God has been glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and will glorify him right away. Little children, I'm with you for a little while longer. You'll look for me. And what I said to the others, I say to you as well now. Where I'm headed, you can't go. I give you a new command, to love each other just as I have loved you. You must love one another as well. By this, everyone will know that you're my students if you show love for one another." Simon Peter said to him, "Master, where are you headed?" Jesus answered him, "Where I'm headed, you can't follow me now, but you'll follow afterward." Peter said to him, "Master, why is it that I can't follow you right now? I'll lay down my life for you." Jesus responded, "You'll lay down your life for me? Amen, amen, I tell you, the rooster definitely won't crow before you deny 3 times that you know me." This is the good news of Jesus Christ.
Thanks be to God.
You know me, and I know you. You're the God who calms all my storms.
The good news continues. Once he'd said these things, Jesus went out with his students across the Kedron, a brook that flows only in winter, to where there was a cultivated grove, and he and his students went into the grove. Now Judas, who was handing him over, also knew the place, because Jesus had often met there with his students. So Judas, taking a military division and retainers from the high priests and the Pharisees, came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. So Jesus, noting everything that was coming at him, came forward and said to them, "Who are you looking for?" They answered him, "Jesus the Nazarene." He told them, "That's me." Judas, the one handing him over, was standing with them. So when he told them, "It is me," they backed up and fell to the ground. Again he asked them, "Who are you looking for?" And they said, Jesus the Nazarene. Jesus responded, "I told you it was me. So if it's me you're looking for, let these people get out of here." He said this so that what he had said would be borne out. "I didn't lose a single one of those you gave me." Then Simon Peter, who had a sword, drew it and struck the chief priest's slave and cut off his right ear. And the name of the slave was Malchus. Then Jesus said to Peter, "Put that sword back in its sheath. My Father gave me this cup. Don't I have to drink out of it?" This is the good news of Jesus Christ.
Is the path ahead too scary?
It
is. Is the load you bear too heavy? It is. But is the glory of our God to carry all that we can't lift? It is. And is it time that we remind ourselves of this? It is. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. But be alert. I have already told you everything. In those days after that suffering, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. And the stars will be falling from heaven and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. Then he will send out the angels and gather the elect from the four winds, from the ends of the earth to the ends of heaven. From the fig trees, learn its lesson. As soon as its branch becomes tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. Do you feel your world is broken? We do. Do you feel the shadows closing? We do. But do you know the longest night can stop the sun from breaking through?
The good news continues. Then the division and its officer and the retinue of the others seized Jesus, tied him up, and led him to Annas first. He was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was the chief priest for that year. And Caiaphas was the one who advised the others that it was better for one man to die for the sake of the whole people. Simon Peter and another student followed after Jesus, but that student was known to the chief priest. So he went with Jesus into the chief priest's palace. But Peter stood outside by the gate. So the other student, the one known to the chief priest, came out and spoke to the girl who was the gatekeeper and brought Peter inside. Then that slave girl, the gatekeeper, said to Peter, "Aren't you one of this man's students too?" He said, "I'm not." The slaves and the retainers were standing there. They had made a coal fire because it was cold, and they were warming themselves. And Peter was standing with them and warming himself. This is the good news of Jesus Christ. Thanks be to God.
Spirit, cast a net. There's a burden round my neck. It's clear it weighs me down with the sorrow of regret. I have lost religion, lost the language to rejoice. There's a tune here that's older still in our traditions, heard before and planted near the shore. None go near it, still suffering mourn. When I hear it, it calms me down. Blessed lyric, gentle sound. Nothing is truly gone when we listen for the song. Older than wisdom, younger than children, honest conviction felt at our birth, and further than starlight, brighter your eyes, nearer, nearer, here as time goes on, as life goes on. There's a tune here that's older suffering born. When I hear it, it calms me down. Blessed lyric, gentle sound. Nothing is truly gone when we listen for the soul.
The good news continues. Meanwhile, the high priest interrogated Jesus about his students and his teachings. Jesus answered him, "I've spoken openly to the world. I've always taught in a synagogue and in a temple precinct, where all the others assemble, and I've said nothing in secret. Why are you interrogating me? Interrogate the people who heard what I said to them. Look, they know what I said." Once he had said this, one of the retainers who was standing near Jesus gave him a slap and said to them, "Is this how you answer the high priest?" Jesus answered him, "If I've said something wrong, give your testimony that it's wrong. But if I'm right, why do you beat me?" The Annas had heard him tied up and sent him to Caiaphas, the chief priest. Meanwhile, Simon Peter was standing and warming himself. So they said to him, "Aren't you one of his students too?" He denied it, saying, "I'm not." This is the good news of Jesus Christ.
I used to float, now I just fall down. I used to know, but I'm not sure now what I was made for. What I was made for. Taking a drive, I was an ideal, looked so alive. Turns out I'm not real, just something you paid for. What was I made for? 'Cause I don't know how to feel, but I
The good news continues. One of the high priest's slaves spoke up, as he was a relative of the one whose ear Petros had cut off. "Didn't I see you in the grove with him?" Again, Peter denied it, and right away the rooster crowed. This is the good news of Jesus Christ. Thanks be to God.
Fire has gone wholly dark. It has burned its final spark. I love the music of the wood. I would live here if I could. The earth would be my bed, the moss beneath my head. I'd spend my days on holy ground if I were not so wholly The water has gone fully still. I walk its edge along the hill. The wind has blown its final breeze. The water rests in night's reprieve. What silence must it take to soothe so deep an ache, and let the water hold me down if I were not afraid to drown? When I wake up, will you be gone? Which side of the mountain will I find you on? If I promise not to make a sound, might I feel that Eve renaissance from holy ground? The sky has wholly opened wide. The last lonely cloud has moved aside. Immense and fully filled with stars. Venus, Mercury, and Mars. The miles from there to here. What soul could pioneer? But I would fly to worlds unknown if I believed they held my own. When I wake up, will you be gone? Which side of the mountain will I find you on? If I promise not to make a sound, might I feel the resonance from holy ground.
good news continues. So then he handed him over to them to be hung on the stakes. Then they took Jesus over from him, and taking on the load of the stake, he went out to what is called the place of the skull, which in Hebrew they call Golgotha, where they hung him up, and with him 2 others, one on either side, with him in the middle. And Pilate wrote the notice and put it on the stake, and this is what was written there: Jesus the Nazarene, the King of the others. Many of the others read this notice, because the place where Jesus was hung on the stakes was near the city, and the writing was in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. Now the high priest of the others said to Pilate, "Don't write the King of the others. Write, he said, I'm the King of the others." Pilate answered, "I wrote what I wrote." Now the soldiers, when they had Jesus hung on the stakes, took his clothes and made 4 portions, a portion for each soldier. But there was also his tunic. The tunic was a seamless one, woven in a single piece from top to bottom. So they said to each other, "Let's not tear it. We can draw lots for who gets it." This was so that what was written could be fulfilled, which says, "They divided up my clothes among themselves, and they threw lots for my clothing." Accordingly, the soldiers did this. Beside Jesus' stake were standing his mother and his mother's sister, and Maria, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. So Jesus, seeing his mother and the student he loved standing next to her, said to his mother, "Woman, look, it's your son." And then he said to the student, "Look, it's your mother." And from that time onward, the student took her into his own home. After this, seeing that everything was at an end, Jesus said, so that what was written could be fulfilled, "I'm thirsty." Lying there was a container full of vinegar. So they took a sponge full of vinegar and on a branch of hyssop and put it to his mouth. Then after he took in the vinegar, Jesus said, "It's the end." And he let his head fall and gave over his life breath. This is the good news of Jesus Christ. Thanks be to God.
Speak to the silence of my heart. 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 And I will wait for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you to come. And I will wait for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you to come.
Has anyone here seen my old friend Jesus? I used to see him around, bread breaking, miracle making. I went to the tomb, but he wasn't there. I wonder, does anyone care? Oh, do you care? I saw him here in this church, sitting next to me, telling stories to the kids. Oh, he was among, but they say the good ones, they die young. Has anyone here touched my old friend Jesus? You know, he took my hand, pulled me up from the ground. I felt his kindness when he gave me the water. You must have seen him around town. They say the good ones, they die too young. And then we see him, then they say he's gone. He cannot be gone. Do you think he's gone? Does anyone here miss my old friend Jesus? Makes me sad not to see him more and more. I'll set a place for him at my table. I'll sit on the floor. Tonight, I pray he'll knock at my door. Oh, they say the good ones die too young. They're gone before they're done. Did anyone here know my old friend Jesus? I remember when he walked on this earth. His work isn't finished. We must carry on. This his purpose from his birth. His work isn't finished. His work we must carry on. This our purpose since his birth.
Speak to the silence, my heart. Speak to the silence of my heart. Speak to the silence of my heart. Speak to the silence of my heart. I will wait for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you. And I will wait for you. I will wait for you. I will wait for you to come. I will wait for you to
Beloved, I invite you to turn, to rise, and face the Good Shepherd window as we prepare to depart. The poet Bell Hooks says that to be loving is to be open to grief, to be touched by deep sorrow, even sorrow that is unending. As we wait for the day when love wins, as we wait for the day when death is defeated, let us be open to deep sorrow, to deep grief. Let us remember the movement of Holy Week, the sorrow that we live through to get to the celebration. Amen.